Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am completely perplexed on the F and G show.
That's right, he is.
This episode just took me way out into outer space.
And what's funny is we're talking about the 9th episode of Them, which is day 9 of 10 days.
Right.
So, I'll let Frank take it away because...
they went back to, what, the 1700s?
Somewhere around them parts, I couldn't tell you.
We believe, now it didn't point it out in the show, but we believe it's the Amish. We don't know who these people were, the black people that were running away, right?
Well, you say Amish,
but it was
they were talking about, they was speaking in Dutch.
They were Dutch.
The original language was Dutch, so I don't know if Amish speak Dutch. I don't know.
I think so. I think that's, well, we can look that up. If the original Amish were Dutch, there were two black people, I guess they were riding in a wagon. The wheel broke, and they ran into the Dutch community. We think the Dutch community, the original 1700, were the Amish. We don't know that for sure because I haven't researched it, but they wore bonnets. So on the show, but
and beards.
So we think they were the Amish. Now, mind you, I didn't think Amish were racist, but
and you still don't know.
I really don't know. But the way the show portrayed it, when they encountered black people, because the way the show was portrayed, this is the first time they encountered black people, right?
Well, I guess.
I mean,
we don't know. Just
Well, we have to deal with what we saw. Here's what I saw.
Yeah.
The pastor. Or the prophet. Well, maybe.
They call him a prophet.
They call him a prophet. Well, I can make some clarification. Maybe it was the Mormons. Could have been Mormons, or could have been Dutch, or the Amish.
Well, if we speak of what we just saw, they didn't say any. All we know that they spoke Dutch, but now they speak English. They didn't make any reference of what their religious background was or who they were as a people.
But we did see the cross, so it has a connection to Christianity to some respects. Because anytime you see a cross, it's always connected to Christianity or Christian doctrine of some kind, whether it's corrupted Christian doctrine, accurate Christian doctrine, modified Christian doctrine, whatever doctrine you want to have it. So they were running away. We don't know if these people are related to the original two characters, the black father in Compton. It didn't give us any information about that. They just went back to the 1700s in this story and Them. Yes, we're watching Them. So this preacher reached out his hand and welcomed them to the community, right? Their wagon broke down. They welcomed to the community. So apparently, this community of religious people couldn't find the water, right? Couldn't find the water.
They was digging in this hole, and they got to the point where the guys was like, we've been digging and we ain't got no water yet. And prophet was telling them to have faith, keep digging. They was like, man, how far we got to dig? We ain't got no water yet.
Yeah.
So then the black dude came and he was like, hey, man, the black dude's back there. And he said, oh, he's kind of scared, but, come on up. So all the men said, let him, choose sides and decide on what's right or wrong. So they said, do you think we should keep digging in this hole or should we go find another place to dig? So he touched the sand and he's like, I think you should keep digging because you only got a little ways to go and you'll find water. I'd be happy to dig the rest of the way because y'all been so nice to us. We feeling kind of bad, and if our wagon ain't fixed yet, we'll go ahead and earn our keep. Basically they said we'll work to stay here, basically.
But on the opposite side of the story is all the people in the community was telling the preacher, the prophet, they're black. They're not of us. There's something wrong with them, and da. So he was struggling with his religious beliefs and his racial beliefs. This is the classic story, ladies and gentlemen. Religious beliefs based on your racial beliefs. Both of the two are incongruent when it comes to the scripture. They were talking about we should not treat strangers incorrectly. God will curse us. Well, that's correct. That was a correct scripture. God always told Israel not to treat strangers.
Basically, this ain't a Bible study, so we'll just go ahead and get it over with.
I was trying to explain the story because if you watch it, you're going to see it. If you don't know it,
but basically, they misinterpreted
the Bible,
the words of the Bible, and what they believed what was right. That's what they followed, and in turn, they end up being cursed behind it, and end up burning down the town. And
who burned down the town?
You don't know. They just burned down the town because
the whole town burnt down.
They took the black. They thought that they had to take care of the black folk. She was pregnant. Her water.
She was pregnant. Her water burst. They were trying to get away. They were trying to get out of these crazy people that they had met.
So they said, we gotta take care of them. I say get rid of them. So basically, they end up setting them on fire, burnt them upside down.
Burnt up the black people.
The prophet had the little boy that he had rescued from the thicket, and he took him downstairs in a cellar while everything else started burning. And then he started talking to the dude. He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm the one that you've been worshiping this whole time." Basically, to me, my interpretation of it was actually the devil.
Yes,
that was talking to him.
Yes, and the pastor, the prophet, was worshiping the devil. He capitalized on his racism.
So he also put that.
It is what it is. You'll watch it and you'll see the story yourself. So he did capitalize on that story. His son said, "If you worship me and all this other stuff, then you will do what you have to do." And
Yeah. So he said, "If you want to live and you don't want to die, follow my ways and torment
these black people
for eternity.
For
and
eternity,
this will keep you alive.
This will keep you alive."
So he put his hand out. He shook his hand.
Grabbed his hand.
And
the whole town was burnt down. And that's why we kept seeing this same guy in the previous episodes with these black people. So he was torturing them all through eternity.
So basically what they were saying was they referred to him as the man with the black hat.
Man with the black hat,
They really couldn't explain who he was. The board fell down, and then I guess that's how he got his side of his face burnt.
Mm-hmm.
But when it faded back up, it gave us the impression that town was where Compton was.
Yes.
So
yes, Compton was a place where the Amish or Mormons or whoever it was,
give them a label. The folks that was
religious
there.
community with the cross. We're gonna say religious community with the cross. Some of you who are more biblical experts will be able to identify who these people are. I think they Amish. He thinks there may be some other group.
I don't know. They didn't tell us who it was because it's just a show.
I'm just guessing.
But anyway.
I'm guessing it's Amish.
So where these folks were, basically he made a pact saying that he would torment black people in Compton, because later on it was Compton. Back then it was, horses and wagons. So now he roams Compton and he torments all the black people.
All the black people in Compton that moved there in amongst the white neighborhood.
It tells us why the black people was going crazy that moved there, because he was there tormenting them.
Right. I can agree with that. It's a fascinating story. We got one more left.
The wrap up.
It's a fascinating story. No matter how you view the story, or if you watch the series, it is pretty, I would say, now don't think that I don't want anybody in the audience to think that I believe everything I see on this episode, in these episodes, but I know artistic license is something that Hollywood does all the time. But you can verify this and confirm all of this information, because I don't think this story was put out there like that just for storyline. I think there were some messages that were trying to say that all kinds of stuff happened during these time periods that are completely, I would say, we would never think these kind of things happen, but they do. So in order to find that out, you have to do research.
Well, anyways, because
Yeah.
he's going to keep on going. We got to get to the next episode. He'll talk 20, 30 minutes. Ain't nobody going to watch all this. We keep doing our talking.
Historians would love it. I bet you.
Anyway.
All you historians out there, if you would love this stuff, tell me what you think. And if you don't like it, you can tell me that too. But it was interesting.
But anyway, this is the F&G show. We just watching episode 9. We got one more to go. This is our views and our take on this episode. And without any further ado, before Frank continue on, we don't want to hold you any longer.
Y'all don't like history? But I'm going to always give you a little bit of historical analysis in everything I watch.
Anyways, we out.
We're out.